A record-setting win, 33-0 the final over North Park at Benedetti Worley Stadium. Head coach Jeff Thorne is on to talk about it, and a couple of young guys join me as well. I'm Kevin Jackman. That and more next on the Red Zone.
Presenting sponsor of the Red Zone is Athletico, the preferred provider of physical therapy and athletic training for North Central College.
Welcome into the Red Zone, and head coach of the football team, Jeff Thorne, is on. 33-0 the win against North Park, and let's start right there. That football game, shutout win, pretty good effort all the way around for your team. What was the feeling walking away from that victory?
Fortunate that we had a chance to play them. They had lost their really good running back the week before, and he's a terrific player. Their starting quarterback had gone down against Illinois Wesleyan, so they were a little bit shorthanded. But I'll tell you what, I'm really proud of our defense. We've been hammering on the defense to get back to playing Cardinal defense and assignment sound, using great technique, and we saw that. And then the result came with it. So I'm really excited for the way we played defense on Saturday.
Now, you guys don't pay attention too closely to the record books, especially in the middle of the season. You guys don't usually take stock, but 92 yards allowed, that's hard not to talk about in the locker room, I'm sure.
You know, I knew it was a pretty dominant performance as the game was going on, but didn't realize it was that dominant because much of their yardage came on that last drive of the game. So it was really a terrific job by all the guys all the way across the board. Zach had the interception. Get a chance to talk to him later. But really, really excited to see what we did on Saturday, and that needs to continue moving forward.
We were talking about it during the broadcast, that first unit, when they come off the field, when it's the type of game like that where the second unit, maybe even the third unit get in, the first unit guys are the loudest because they want that shutout preserved. They want to keep that thing going. And late in the game, you said that one drive, they started pushing down the field. You turned them away. What was the emotions like on the sideline when you realized that, hey, this shutout might be sealed at this point in time?
It was really cool because the starting defense was on the sidelines and they were making more noise than we hear when they're on the field. And as a head coach, that's really rewarding because I don't think they were cheering so much for the shutout as they were their teammates are getting an opportunity to play, they're doing good things, and they were genuinely excited that those guys got a chance to play on a Saturday and really do some good things.
How about Taha Ione? And this was a name that we hadn't really called this season, and then we called him a lot on the first couple of series of the games. 3 sacks in the game.
Converted linebacker, came to us this fall, or summer rather, as a linebacker, and you know, we've got a lot of really good linebackers in this class. He was struggling a little bit to pick it up, but I mean, we were only 3 days in. And to his credit, he volunteered. He said, hey, I wouldn't mind putting my hand down, and he's been terrific. He's extremely quick, explosive. He's got a terrific lower body, great wrestler in high school. So he's got all the intangibles that you look for defensive linemen, and he's a wonderful, wonderful kid. So it's been fun to watch that evolve.
One of the things that, when I was talking to your dad about years prior, he said some of our best defensive ends came in as linebackers. What does that conversion take to make and be successful?
A motor. Honestly, most linebackers like contact, and when you can find the ones that know how to use their hands and they have a get-off, it usually is a really good conversion. Speed is so important in the game, and really in any sport, but football in particular. So most times high school linebackers are a little bit faster than high school D linemen, which is why it's worked pretty well for us.
Let's talk offensive end. Pretty good balance, especially early on, pass and run, which I'm sure is a focal point for you guys. How important is that to make sure there's a relatively 50-50 balance?
You know, I don't get too worked up over it. We want to win. At the end of the year, when you look back, you'd like to see the yardage totals somewhat similar. You know, in terms of calling runs, calling passes, you want the yardage totals to be close. But in the midst of a game, I'm not real concerned with you know, where we're at from that standpoint. Certainly, you want to have some semblance of balance, so the defense has to defend both. But you know, when you've got a really good quarterback, it should open things up for the run game, and if you start running it well, it should open things back up for the pass game. That's why I think it's important to be able to do both.
Austin Brunig, Damugalo, those guys look good, but it's the offensive line that's really creating some of those alleys. Progress from week 1 to now week 6. What's that looking like?
Very, very pleased with the progress we've made up front from where we were a year ago, and this wasn't even their best game. We could have played better up front, but what we're doing at the line of scrimmage is significantly improved from where we were, a year ago. So I'm really excited about where we're heading, and we'll get a chance to talk to our freshman starting left guard who's doing some great things in Sharmore.
Now let's talk about your coach's phrases, because last week we caught up. We went out to the practice field. We got Brad Spencer and Tim Janicek, Greg Whalen, and Mike Murray. Some funny bits in there, but just when you're at practice and you're kind of having things go in motion, do you often hear them kind of reciting those things?
Yeah, the beauty of our coaching staff, number one, we've been together for a long time, and Greg, this is his first year with us, but he played for us.
Yeah.
We all have different personalities, and it really works well together. So hearing those comments was pretty neat, because I do hear those things, and those are the kind of the responses that I would expect. Coach Janicek is just, he's a ball of energy and passion, and Coach Whalen brings accountability. In his career, he missed 1 practice.
Wow.
So to have him coaching our offensive line, there's that built-in credibility, and he was a great player.
Yeah.
Coach Spencer's been with us since day 1 as a player first, and then as a coach. And his growth, not just as a coach, but mentoring young guys, he really has a great relationship with our team. And then you got Mike, who's the elder statesman of the staff, who brings such wisdom, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have a guy like that on staff that I can turn to, not even for coaching, but life in general. He's got kids that are all now graduated out of the house. He's an empty nester for the first time, so he's going through some new things too. But it's been a lot of fun to work with these guys. It's a great coaching staff. That was neat to watch that.
I got to ask you, Greg Whalen, was that a little bit of a Mike Ditka impersonation with the accent?
I don't know. No, I think that's just Greg. That's just Greg.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we're going to break down the tape next, but we're going to take a break first.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back with Check the Tape. Welcome back to the Red Zone, and now it's time to check the tape.
This Red Zone segment is sponsored by M&M Rentals.
First play I want to get to, we alluded to this in the first segment, but Taha coming around the edge, and this was the first of many times we called his name. 3 sacks in the game, and what did you see right here from the freshman?
Comes off the ball and uses his hands, and then sheds the block, and then you see his speed, and that's what makes him special, is he really has the ability to kick it into another gear and close on ball carriers and quarterbacks in this instance. So he's done some really good things just in the last 2-3 weeks.
Pretty fired up after that play, too. I can imagine his teammates were pretty excited to see him get that kind of production.
Yeah, because anytime we can have a young guy helping the varsity and the rotation and giving guys some rest and do it at a high level, that's important. As we go forward and try to accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves, we need help from everybody.
The fact that you get another guy to plug in there for that rotation is just it's an embarrassment of riches almost. Let's go offensive side of the football, and Damugalo continues to punch it in past the goal line. But this was the offensive line punching the time card. Yeah, it's been the offensive line most of the time. Not to take credit away from Dom. He's broken tackles. He's running hard. But that doesn't happen without those 5 guys up front doing a terrific job. You see Sharmore right there reaching and running his feet and creating a hole for him. Joe Fairley on the backside of that. It's well executed up front. Now, the last play I want to get to is the first throwing touchdown from Rudder to Andrew Kaminsky, who continues to produce.
Brock does a terrific job reading coverage and what was happening. Primary was our single receiver, and the safety stayed over the top, and Brock just, that's what really high-level quarterbacks do. They go to their second and third read in the progression, and it happens quickly. And he hits the top of his drop, and boom, the ball's gone. It's really hard to defend that.
Now, one thing we noticed Saturday was Brock's ability and willingness to stand in the pocket, stand tall, and deliver the football. That takes a little bit of courage on the quarterback's part to hang in there sometimes.
A lot of courage. Yeah, no kid. I mean, you're standing still, guys are running at you, and you have to maintain the ability to stay focused on your read progressions and movement keys and not look at the rush. It's a lot easier said than done, especially when you guys got guys around your feet and your knees. He's tough-minded, physically tough, and he's playing the way that we expect him to play.
Now let's turn the focus ahead to Wheaton. Game under the lights, on the road, atmosphere is going to be insane. You guys looking forward to this matchup? I can't imagine you're not.
Oh yeah, yeah, always. It's a game that we all know is lingering out there all season long. We go week by week, but to say that we're not well aware that the Bell game is lingering would be misleading. Yeah. We are really excited. We had our players are locked in, they're focused, and really as excited as I've seen a group be in a long time.
Any discussion from the guys that were around last year about the playoff loss, about trying to use that as motivation?
Not so much as motivation, more of reality of what happened first game to second game and what we need to do to get back to giving ourselves the best opportunity to win.
Yeah.
You learn from the past, but we can't spend time trying to fix it. It's over with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's more just looking back at the tape and finding out what are we going to do differently to put ourselves in a better position to win.
Now let's get you out of here on this. Your quick hit. We've been doing this in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Your favorite professional athlete growing up as a kid?
Without question, it's Walter Payton. I remember coming home from church when I was really young, and the Lone Ranger would be on first, and then the Bears games would be on. And the Bears were terrible then. But watching Walter Payton run the football behind not the best offensive lines, to put it lightly, and just continuing to battle. My son's name is Peyton for a reason. He's P-A-Y-T-O-N, not P-E-Y like Peyton Manning. He's Walter Payton. And then Bobby Mercer was a baseball player I loved. My mom used to convince me to practice the piano instead of playing ball outside by telling me that he played the piano. And I was dumb enough to fall for that. It didn't take me long, though, maybe a year or two, and I figured out, wait a second. So my piano days were done at that point.
Coach, thanks for swinging by, and good luck against Wheaton.
Thanks, Kevin.
Coming up next, we have a couple of players joining me on set. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back to the Red Zone, and a couple of young guys joining me on set. A sophomore and a freshman, Zach Greenberg, Sharmore Clarke. Welcome to the show, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Both of you are first time. Let's start with Zach. You told me 2 weeks ago, you waited 5 weeks for your first interception. You waited 6 days for your second. You were pretty pumped after the first one. Same feeling for the second?
Oh, yeah, same feeling. I mean, I saw the ball in the air, and I was like, oh, that's mine.
That was just kind of floating there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a dead duck in the air. It wasn't even a spiral, and I was like, I can't drop this one. And I caught it and just saw open grass. It was nice.
As a defensive back, I'm guessing you go into kangaroo court if you drop that ball.
Yeah, yep. And I've dropped a couple in practice, and we just keep watching it on film, just replaying the play, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty unathletic.
So, I mean, this defense is pretty fun. The secondary is rounding into shape. You got two veteran guys behind you. Is it fun that you guys are just kind of reacting and flying around the field right now?
Yeah, I mean, me and Mike Zebold and Jelani and Nate Bailey, we're all really comfortable with Pat and Stirs now, so it's really fun. We can communicate really well and just make plays.
Sharmore, I mean, this is your first year of collegiate football, and yet you've plugged right into the offensive line, and I mean, your teammates are raving about your effort and your ability to pick up the playbook. What are your thoughts on just the first year of North Central football?
To be honest, I credit my success so far towards the two seniors that I played with, because Joe Fairley and Dom and all of them, they've helped me so much with the playbook. Whenever I need anything, I ask Joe, and Joe tells me exactly what to do and where to go.
Joe seems like a pretty calm dude.
Oh, yeah, he's very relaxed.
Yeah. You seem kind of the same way.
Yeah, I try to be as calm as possible.
What's that feeling on the offensive line? Because you guys have had the same group for all 5 games. Is that cohesive kind of picking up? Do you feel like you guys are just kind of moving as one unit at this point?
Especially with me and Joe's double teams, it's just been so on point right now.
Yeah.
Like, for the first week, it was a little spotty, but Coach Whalen has taught us to use the crowders, and it just works so amazingly with our double teams. And that's the same thing with Alec, too.
You guys got to make sure you protect Brock's blind side. That's a big responsibility. For the most part, I mean, almost entirely, you guys have kept him clean. Is he giving you guys some props in the huddle?
Oh yeah, he always shouts us out.
He's a pretty funny dude too, so I've heard he's cracked some jokes. Has he been able to keep you loose a little bit?
Yeah, like the first week I was playing with the starting offensive line, he just ran up behind me. He was like, "Sharmore, watch out!" He was like, "I'm just playing with you."
You're looking for someone coming around to try and get you. Zach, let's talk about this defense. 92 yards in this game. That is a staggering total in any game, at any time, and that's a record for the North Central. How much did you guys talk about that in the locker room after the game?
I mean, when we heard it on the recap of the game that you did, we were like, holy crap, we just set a school record.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we just go out there and try to get 3 and outs. Coach Jeff always challenges us. Coach Murray challenges us. He's like 3 and out, and the offense will score, and we know the offense will score no matter where we get them on the ball at. So
you guys have improved, and I mean, you guys you heard Coach Thorne talking about it. Improvement from the first week to now, challenging you guys to get back to that gritty defense that you were at last year. Have you felt that progress as it's been made this season?
Yeah, especially last week. It feels like it paid off. I mean, each week, like, someone was always doing something wrong, and this week I feel like we came together as a team and just accomplished our goal.
Now you guys are paving the way for a couple of running backs. Austin has been here a while. He set the record as his sophomore year, 18 rushing touchdowns in a single season. Dom might be challenging that. Right now he's right on pace, 9 through 5 games. But how fun is it to be paving ways for these guys?
Oh, it's amazing, especially Dom as a great power running back in Austin and just get out in space whenever. It's just an amazing feeling knowing that when we do our job, they'll get there. Dom
he scored 9 times. He's the goal line back. He also has probably the biggest smile on the team, and he's been able to do it a lot because he scores so much. What is it like? Because you guys are both new to the offense and producing at such a high level. Is it fun being able to contribute that first year?
Oh, yeah. Like, when I was coming in, I thought I was going to be coming off the bench or possibly just traveling with the team, and knowing that I'm in this position where I can help the team out so much is so amazing, amazing feeling. Dom is doing such an amazing job out there as a first-year guy, and I just love seeing his success.
I loved your line. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. You go, I don't know where this guy came from. Wasn't even close to this good in high school, and here he is, 9 touchdowns through 5 weeks. It's crazy.
I mean, it's just the amount he works. Like, he works hard in the weight room. He's pushing himself. Like, I looked over at him benching, and I'm like, holy crap, that's more than these old linemen are putting up. And it's like, it's crazy. He's a hard worker. He deserves every touchdown he gets.
Now, you have 1 year of experience in this Wheaton matchup that's coming up this week. Are you excited? Are you ready for this?
I'm so pumped. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be amazing. Like Tyler Oakley says, like, it's bigger than a state championship game. And just playing for so much.
Every snap is just that much more intense. Sharmore, I got to ask you, what are the veterans kind of telling you to get you prepared for this game?
They just told me to stay level-headed throughout the whole thing, but play in the moment. And just play your game.
Let's start the quick hits. I want to know who has the best singing voice on the football team.
Well, easily I could say Tyrone. He's just a fun guy. He's always funny, and I mean, break into song when we're doing abs just to make it easier, let's get through it.
Does it make it easier?
It does. Yeah, it's funny. Funny listening to all your teammates sing, especially him, because he's got a voice. And then I'd say also Matt Taylor, just because he's like a rock and roll kind of dude, and you just hear him singing, it's like, oh, it's not that good, but it's funny.
On the offensive side, anybody come to mind?
Colton Bachnick.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
He's such a funny person. And Moose, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who's Moose?
Dalton.
Dalton? All right.
they'll just both feed off each other. It's just funny.
So we got the right side of the offensive line as a little duet. We might have to get them in here to do a little single.
Offensive, defensive line.
Yeah, we'll do a sing-off. Maybe you guys can participate too, because the next question is your favorite karaoke song. We'll go Sharmore first.
Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys.
Yeah? How does that go?
Ba 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 ba.
There we go. That's all I'll make you do. All right, Zach, how about you?
I mean, I can't really think of a specific song, but I'd say anything like funky, like Black Eyed Peas, like, you know.
If it comes across the screen, you'll know the words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rap, you know, hip hop. That's fun.
Yeah. Last question, and we'll go to the big screen for this. Your favorite superhero movie? Zach, we'll start with you.
I'd either say Thor or the Hulk, just because, you know, they got the guns. Thor's got hair, you know. They look good and they got muscles, so.
You're going to get them both in one movie coming up. You'll be pretty happy.
I will. I'll be watching that one.
Sharmore?
The Flash. I just love his speed, love everything about him.
You want to play running back one day?
I was playing running back my freshman year.
Really?
Yeah.
In high school?
Yeah.
It'd be pretty tough to bring you down now. Guys, thanks for hopping on. We appreciate it, and best of luck against Wheaton.
Thank you.
We're taking a break. The Cardinal Corner on its way. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
This Red Zone segment is sponsored by Belgio's Catering.
2013, the pinnacle of North Central football, a team that went 13-0 before falling in the semifinals to Mount Union. Now that entire roster of players is gone, except for one, utility man Mike Zebold.
Learning how championship football was played and how to play at a high level and compete every single day. It was a great experience for me, and I try to take that in for the past 4 years now and try to teach, the incoming freshmen every year exactly what that 2013 team taught for me.
Zebold is now a fifth-year senior. An injury actually cost him all of 2016. His journey, though, is far more interesting than most. Just as quick as he could learn the playbook as a quarterback as a freshman, he became a pass catcher his sophomore year. And then, as he was adjusting to being a receiver, Zebold added long snapping to his duties.
Just at one practice, we needed scout guys, and I was like, well, I can do it. So I ran out there, and Coach Pooch at the time was our kind of punter long snapper coach. And he saw me do it. He's like, why weren't you doing this all year with us? Following his sophomore campaign, another change, this time to defensive back. First a safety, then a corner, and then an opportunity came knocking this season.
He's a big team, little me guy. He puts the team above himself. He's been willing to make all those transitions that we talked about. But he's also just a great kid too. When we played together, I knew him pretty well. I always liked him a lot, and coaching him's pretty easy because he takes coaching really well.
Dillon Warden and Rich Zerngable were Zebold's teammates. They're now his coaches. On Saturday, they will watch him take the field. The starting cornerback in the biggest game of his life against arch-rival Wheaton.
Testament to his confidence and building throughout that and saying, okay, you know what, I am good at these positions, I just have to wait my turn. It's my time now, and fifth-year senior, and he's starting in the biggest game of his life.
One thing to look out for, Zebold's first career interception.
Justin and I are just looking for ours. We always say, oh, it's just because they're scared to throw our way.
And while the journey has taken Zebold from quarterback to receiver, long snapper to corner, his belief is that 2017 might shape up an awful lot like 2013, based on signs of dedication.
That dedication is something that I saw on the 2013 team, and I see that now on this team, so I really think we have what it takes, to go as far as we want to go. But it's got to be, we got to buy in, and we got to take it 1 week at a time, and we can do it. We can get to that national championship.
And he'll be manning the corner in the next 10 weeks of the ultimate 15-week journey. Welcome back to the Red Zone, and to wrap up, as always, Sports Information Director Clark Tusher. Let's start right off with probably the most exciting event of the early portion of the week, and that's women's volleyball beating Augustana, 4-set thriller. That fourth set didn't want to end, but now they're 2-2 in conference, and they're probably feeling pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Lost the first set and had to kind of battle back all night long, and then you have a fourth set that goes to 35-33. And winning the last 3 points of the match to keep it from going to a fifth set. You never know what can happen if you let that happen, but certainly levels them at 2-2 in conference play. obviously, very excited to get the win after they didn't get any last year. So, and it's largely the same group that's doing it. Still, just continuing to improve. They've got a really tough matchup against Elmhurst on next Tuesday, but they've got a couple of non-conference matches this weekend to prepare for that. And it's going to be kind of a tough road these last 4 matches, but they're in the hunt for a spot in the conference tournament, which is where they wanted to be when the season started. So definitely successful so far.
Coach Kyle Exline, you mentioned this last week, felt like it was kind of top-heavy in the early portion of the schedule. They faced some really good teams, including the ranked Millikan team, but they beat the 17th ranked team in the country. So this team appears to be in contention for that conference tournament. Yeah,
ability-wise, I don't think they're concerned about that. It's more of a consistency and execution at this point, which that's going to be ongoing. It's never going to be quite as good as the coaching staff wants it, but it's certainly improved, and then they'll look to continue to do that.
Let's go to soccer, because both teams are playing very well right now. Let's start with the men's team. This is a team that came in really young, and we've seen the progress over the course of the year, and now it seems like maybe they've arrived.
Yeah, got a big win at Millikan on Saturday, coming into a matchup on Wednesday against an Augustana team that has struggled this year. So for a team that has aspirations for the postseason, that's the kind of game they've got to get. But definitely you're going on a couple of weeks now where they've practiced and played at the level where the coaches thought that they would want to get to. So they're definitely coming together at the right time. Gavin Sanchez this week, Conference Offensive Player of the Week. He's been doing the bulk of the scoring lately, which so they're, I'm sure one of their goals is to find somebody else to on the other side of the field to kind of balance that out, so he doesn't draw too much, extra defensive attention. Teams have to play him honestly and play both sides. So. There's still some adjustments to make, but they're very pleased with where they're at right now and just kind of trying to take care of business leading up to a matchup with North Park later in the season. Andrew Gamara has the women's team playing pretty well too. They're kind of almost in the exact same boat. Yeah, 3-1 after a big win over Augustana on Tuesday. Augustana's women's team was undefeated in conference play coming into that game. Wound up getting a goal late in the contest with about 10 minutes to go. Also with the Conference Player of the Week, Allison Vidaris as a Defensive Player of the Week, as that unit has kind of played a little better together. They're communicating very well. So again, looking to get into the postseason. The objectives are very clear. There are not very many games left, so that they're where they hoped to be when Game 1 started. So. Certainly an accomplishment to this point. The way things are shaping up, it could be a very busy November for you guys. Well, that's why we do it. We can handle that kind of busy. That's what you want. Now, women's golf kind of helps because their fall portion of the schedule is over. They just wrapped up the conference meet. How did they perform at that conference meet? Wound up finishing 5th. It was a 54-hole event that was shortened to 36 because of the weather. We knew that was going to be an issue going in on a pretty tough course over in West Chicago. Did have an all-conference finisher. Rainstar Rock was 5th place overall. The top 10 are all-conference honorees, and she just transferred in this year, so it's her first year in the program. Played a really solid, particularly solid first round. She was in 2nd place after the first round. Wow. So kind of a good note to end the fall on, and then they'll work the next 5 months or so on some different things away from the course to get ready. To get back into it in March. Let's finish up the segment with your quick hit. Your favorite superhero movie? I don't think there's any question that Iron Man's the best one of those movies that's been made. That's kind of the one that started the whole big Marvel Universe type of thing. And it has just enough humor in it to where it's not taking itself too seriously. And I think Robert Downey was probably the perfect choice for that kind of a character. So I think that's probably the standard by which all the rest of them are judged. You sound like a movie critic. If you want, you got a second career now. It's important to be diverse in your skill set. So if this thing doesn't work out, maybe I can make a career out of that. Well, Clarke, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Cardinals travel to Wheaton in the battle for the Little Brass Bell. We'll have the highlight after the game on NCTV 17. I'm Kevin Jackman, and this has been the Red Zone.